You're tuning in to the Black Hollywood Live Network, featuring news, interviews, and commentary on all things Black Hollywood. Hollywood redefined. From Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is Black Hollywood Live. Athletes. Featuring in-depth interviews with athletes and members of the sports industry. Black Hollywood Live. Hollywood redefined.
You're listening to Black Hollywood Live.
And now, the host for Black Hollywood Live, Athletes.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is the Branded Athlete, but we start off with the song selection every time, so I'm going to pause for a second so we can hear the music that is in the background here.
It's a good one. We have...
I can't quite hear it, but...
Yeah, we're feeling ourselves today.
We're feeling ourselves. Exactly. You know who was feeling themselves this week? LeBron James.
Yeah,
He's completely feeling himself. And you know who's also feeling himself? The crew of The Branded Athlete. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another show of The Branded Athlete. Here, where we interview premier athletes and give you all the hot, fun, good stuff when in the world of sports and entertainment. So thank you for tuning in. This show, I can't do it by myself, but I am your host, Kevin John. Sitting to the left of me is someone who is athletic today. She just swam about 10 miles, and she made it here. Miss, the one, the only, Brittani Johnson.
Hey guys, how you doing today?
Good. So
I decided to wear a vest in honor of Kevin's birthday, which is this weekend.
It's exciting.
Thank you.
I had to dress down, for you.
It's actually not this weekend, but thank you for
next
remembering.
Weekend.
It's on Monday, but
Whatever,
anyways, it's
close enough.
The chlorine must have
We're
got to
celebrating this weekend. We're turning up this weekend for your birthday.
Oh, we are. Well,
It's a surprise.
We're going to get turned up.
Well, speaking of birthdays and turned up, the other person on this panel actually had a pretty turned up birthday this past Saturday night, themed Tom Cruise, the one, the only Ben Bateman.
What's up, guys? How y'all doing? Welcome to the Branded Athlete. It was a great party. Thanks for shouting out, Kevin. Appreciate it.
It was an awesome party. Just real quick for the fans, I know you're here to talk sports, but you're also a big fan of Tom Cruise. Everyone at the party was dressed like Tom Cruise, but I'm black, so I couldn't pull it off.
No, you came. You showed up as Jerry Maguire, Tom Cruise.
I did, yeah, as the Cuba Gooding version of that. Yeah. So, at any rate, well, happy birthday to you, Ben.
Thank you, sir.
What was the best gift you received for your birthday this past year?
A full house. Tons of people showing up to the party. That was the best gift. It was a lot of fun.
It was. Good deal. Well, thank you so much. All right, guys. Now, obviously you see us here week in and week out, talking sports and all that other stuff, and we appreciate you tuning in for that. But... the one thing that keeps this show going and keeps the feel going is your feedback. We love hearing from you. We love hearing your great ideas, what you think didn't work. We love you hearing saying that, Ben, what were you thinking about putting in Kareem with that category? Or Kevin, your vests are always on fleek. Whatever it is, we want to continue to hear that. So please make sure that you check out podcast1.com. I'll say that again, podcast1.com. Make sure you go there to leave responses so you can... keep us in tune with how you feel about the show, because we love reading your feedback. We love hearing about that, and we love that. It's a really quick survey. It'll take you about, a minute to do? Is that it?
Like
About 3.
I rounded down.
We both went on there clearly and talked about how great we were on the show.
We've done it.
Oh, yeah, I guess I'm the only one that hasn't done it.
All the good feedback is from us, basically.
Oh, great, great. Well, maybe you guys can have some good feedback as well, because we'd love to hear that from you. And, for all the good ones, we may actually even talk about them on the show. We'll talk about whatever unless they're anonymous surveys, and then we can do that, right?
Sure, right.
I don't know. All right, I'll check it out, maybe. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for doing that. Continue to go to iTunes, rate us, give us 5 stars. And continue liking our videos, sharing our videos, and all that other stuff. All right, now we have a great show to give to you guys. So, with no further ado,
yelling in the mic.
As my producer is saying that my volume, my yelling is extremely loud. But you know why my yelling is loud?
Just sit back a little bit.
My yelling is loud today because
You're just excited.
I'm exciid to be here.
Yeah.
I'm excited to talk to you guys. And Brittany is excited as well. That's why she's about to share us.
And speaking of excited, we have Brittany's random thought.
There you go. Thanks for the segue, Ben.
So, my random, and I usually actually do random facts. They're not really random thoughts, but you guys continue to call them random thoughts. facts.
Sure.
But anyways, my random fact of the day. Now, obviously, we're in the NBA Finals right now, and Cleveland, who has never won a championship, and Golden State Warriors, who last time they won was 40 years ago, back in 1975. Well, did you guys know back in 1975 when the Warriors won, that was actually the first time that a sport in the USA, no matter what sport it was, football, baseball, basketball, had two black head coaches competing in a finals championship game.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
That
pretty
I didn't
exciting.
know.
That is pretty impressive.
I know. It was Casey Jones for the Washington Bullets was the team, and Al Adels for the Warriors. So, and actually Al missed the winning of the national championship because they won in, I believe it was game 4. They swept in that series, and he got ejected from the game because he was yelling at the ref and got ejected, so missed almost the whole fourth quarter, and he wasn't there to celebrate when they won the championship. But
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious. But I mean, that just shows you got to control your emotions, when it's crunch time,
It was a heated game, but it's pretty cool. 2 first black head coaches, 1975.
That's amazing. That would have been a great Black History Month.
That would have been a
random
good
thought
one.
as well.
This is Black Hollywood Live, so I can talk about black people all the
Way to
time.
keep it black. Well, no, that's really good. I'm glad you brought that up because I remember it was big news in 2006 when the Bears and the Colts won the Super
with
Bowl because you had
Lovie
Lovie
Smith
Smith and Tony
Dungy, yes.
who went against it. That was the first time
For football,
for
correct.
football that it's ever happened. And then you had 2 brothers coaching in the Super Bowl about 3 or 4 years later, and I think that was the first time.
Jim and John, yeah.
Jim and John Arbrough. So you're seeing all these things going on. I wonder when the day will come in the NBA when you'll have 2 female head coaches coaching against each other for the first time.
Spurs are the first
Becky
team on the
Hammond.
way.
Becky
Yeah.
Hammond, she's the assistant coach with the Spurs, and so you
know,
never know.
The basketball seems to kind of like be the forefronters in sports and doing stuff. Like they had the first openly gay player, and then the first 2 had black coaches, and football's kind of like 20 years behind them, or in this case, almost 35 years behind them with the football coaches, but.
Yeah.
Basketball, I think we would see it first in basketball before we would see it in any other.
I agree with you. Yeah, I think that's accurate. I mean, yeah, it definitely seems to have free thinking individuals. I mean, and also just looking at
Cross-dresser and Dennis Rodman, like
Yeah, right.
Of course, yeah.
Basketball is very
He was a
open,
pioneer
yeah.
for that.
Yeah, and it's good to see also like somebody like Adam Silver seems to be a guy who's interested in changing the game in the right ways. You know what I mean? You have the sport and the league developing. So I definitely think basketball's in that is exactly in the place you're talking about.
Well, it's interesting because basketball is also the first major sport to incorporate female officiating.
Right.
You see female refs, and you obviously in the NFL you won't see that. And
they
maybe
did hire one this year. There's going to be one this season.
Oh, there is going to be one
Yeah, they
this
just
season.
hired their first female ref like a month ago, 2 months
Wow.
ago. Yeah, I forgot her name, but I'll give you more details on that when we get closer to football season.
That is
Yeah.
amazing.
Brittany is so anxious for it's like 90 days to football season, and I swear she's so excited for the end when the NBA is done. When this series is over,
It's actually 91 days,
Yeah.
but yeah.
To be exact, yes.
To be exact.
Yes, exactly.
it's very exciting. It's
No,
very
that's good.
exciting.
Thank you for sharing that. I mean, that's the nice thing about sports that I enjoy is there's always something groundbreaking, trailblazing, and it's a great platform to embrace something. I'm still waiting for the first transgender person and one of the major. I don't know technically if that would happen though, because if you're, I don't know, whatever.
No, sure.
But that would be interesting though
Right.
when that does happen.
Caitlyn Jenner is going to be on the Dallas Cowboys next year. That's what we're going to talk about next.
As quarterback, absolutely. That is a very good segue into your. What would it take? What would it take?
What would it take? Yeah. No. All right, guys. So this is a segment we do every week called "What Would It Take." We're going to ask a ridiculous question. Though in this case, it doesn't even seem that ridiculous right now. But normally it's an outlandish scenario, and we're going to ask, "What would it take for this to come true?" So in the sports world, Michael Jordan is pretty much considered to be the de facto best player of his sport, the best ever, right? He's the only guy in any of the sports that is truly, undoubtedly, maybe him and Gretzky.
I was about to say Wayne Gretzky is
But
definitely.
even Gretzky, like really Jordan's like the gold standard.
Serena Williams, I think she's kind of.
That's fair. I was the
solidified
big four
that.
American though. The big four American sports. So Michael Jordan is that guy, right? He's the GOAT. What would it take for LeBron James to universally, in everybody's eyes, surpass Jordan? And I think we're kind of witnessing it right now, to be honest with you. But I mean, what do you guys think it would take?
Let's start with you.
Oh, you want to start with me?
Yeah,
Okay.
sure.
Usually it's ladies first. But
Okay,
I'll
I
go.
mean, mine's
I'll
pretty
go.
quick.
Don't worry,
so
Kevin's lead host
you
this
can
week, so he's
go.
not going to be as aggressive as last week.
I was passionate. So.
I still feel like I might need to mediate this one, though.
You could. That's why you're sitting in the middle.
Yes.
We appreciate that.
Okay.
So, but if you want, so as mediator, do you want me to go first, or do you?
I mean, I just want to say on the record, I don't think that is. I don't think it's possible, not in that I don't think he's a great player. Obviously, we've seen that this final series or whatever, but just the mentally and the being a great person and everyone likes him kind of thing, I just think he already lost it. He lost that when he left Cleveland the first time, and he lost a lot of fans, and he lost a lot of people thinking that I don't think he can get to that level now. Just he could do whatever. He could win 10 more rings if he wanted to, but I don't think he's ever going to pass Jordan, because Jordan has that thing where kind of everybody likes Michael Jordan. That's why we're okay with saying that he's the greatest, because everybody has like a feel-good thing with Jordan. There was no big scandal with Jordan, as there was with LeBron. So
there were some scandals that came out about Jordan. Don't get it twisted.
Different kinds. But yeah, you have a good point.
So let me ask you then, Brittany, to that. Because of his universal likeness and image, that's all off the court. Now, we were just going to talk about on the court, the GOAT, and what it would take. Then what is
No,
your
but that's
vote?
not what we're
but
talking
that's
about.
not he was talking about for people to consider him as the greatest of all time unanimously, but I don't think that's going to happen, because off the court a lot of people don't like him as a person.
And that's the reason it's such a what would it take, is
Right.
because Jordan is the guy. That's what I mean. Even more than Gretzky, Jordan is that guy. He's the guy in every sport that you're sort of like, when people say, they don't say, oh, you're like the Wayne Gretzky of this. They say, you're like the Michael Jordan of this.
Okay.
He's like the cliche answer. You know what I mean?
Now, before I give my perspective on this, I just want to ask you guys something. What if LeBron James came before Michael Jordan, and LeBron was dominant in the 80s, 90s, and then all of a sudden today, Jordan, do you think it would still be like MJ, or it's like LeBron has set the level, everyone wants to be like LeBron?
It might be like LeBron. And quite, I mean, I'll jump in with
Because
my
I think
answer.
that's the one thing Jordan has to his advantage, is that he was the first. But go ahead.
well,
I mean, I'll jump in with my answer, and that's essentially that I think it's difficult to quantify greatness in sports, because so much of it is defined by championships. There's a couple different things, right? You can look at MVPs, you can look at statistics, you can look at championships, and then you can look at like the clutch gene, right? Those are like sort of the four categories, and they all contribute. The thing about Jordan is that he had all those things. He was great at all of them. Like he literally did all those things. What's insane about LeBron James, and I'm not a big LeBron fan. Like, I'm really not. I appreciate LeBron James, but I don't like the player that much. What's happening is I'm watching this series, and as I watched him this season, it's astounding. It's mind-boggling. Watching this series specifically so far, I'm just sort of watching and being like, this is a greater stretch of several games than Jordan ever had in the playoffs. It's greater than any player's ever had in the playoffs. You're watching him put up triple-doubles like they don't even matter. 35, 45-point triple-doubles. With a team,
attempting 50 shots a game, but go ahead.
yeah, well,
ridiculous field goal percentage with a team of players, none of whom are all-stars, or even would really even think of having a chance at being all-stars.
Matthew Dellavedova would slap you right now
Yeah,
if
I'm
you
just
heard me
saying.
say that.
Britt, go ahead.
Go ahead, Britt.
I mean, I can't really talk about the Jordan stuff, because it's going to be in my next
Segment.
segment.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know what I mean?
Mine
But
too.
remember that he said that, and we'll get back to that.
I mean, Jordan has.
We'll
go
just
ahead.
remember that he said that. Okay.
Not okay.
Kevin, what's your answer?
Well, I think first of all, you have to look at things like this, and I kind of spoke about it earlier. Jordan was the predecessor
Sure.
to LeBron. He was the face before LeBron came in the league, who is now obviously the global face of the NBA.
Right.
So Jordan has that to his advantage immensely.
Don't sleep on Kobe.
Also,
Kobe's the bridge.
Same thing with Kobe. Yeah, Kobe is not to be forgotten, because he deserves to be in this talk as well. So that's the first thing. Second of all, you have to realize that Jordan, as far as him being compared to the GOAT, and this is just on the court, not off. Finals. You said that's one of the things that you use to validate somebody's greatness.
Wins, not just.
Jordan is unblemished in the
Yeah,
finals.
right.
He's never let a finals get to a game 7 even. And there was a lot of talk about how LeBron quits on his team, mentally and physically. Prior, not now, obviously. We see what the
Right.
hell he's doing now.
LeChoke and all that, right.
But he's had a reputation of doing that. And he lost his first 2 finals. So I think when you look at GOAT, it's somebody that performs the best on the biggest stage. And I think for that reason, Manning will never be considered GOAT over Montana, no matter how great the stats are. But that's really what I think about when you define GOAT. Who performs the best when it's on the line? And Jordan has never, never. But also you got to look at the fact that and this is where I'm going to favor LeBron in this argument. I'm just going to twist it around real quick. The fact that Jordan, he's won, every time he's won a championship, he's had a Hall of Famer alongside him.
Right.
If not two, during the second three-peat with Rodman and Pippen. Right now, what we're seeing with LeBron do, and this is not a slap to, to anybody, not to Dellavedova, not to Thompson, not to Shepard, any of them, but he's single-handedly winning games for his team on the biggest stage.
I agree.
Going against a very good defense.
Question.
So,
do you think those guys would have been Hall of Famers without Michael Jordan?
See, that's a great question. I was wondering the same thing.
Well, first of all...
And do you think if Michael Jordan did not have them on the team, do you think he could still perform the way he performed?
Well, first of all, you got to look to 94, 95, when they still had the team and Jordan was out playing baseball for the Birmingham White Sox, whatever. They made it to the playoffs those 2 years that Jordan was not there. They made it. I think they got eliminated.
But Jordan had already been with these guys and helped build these guys up, correct?
No. I'm actually, you're right. Jordan had helped mold that and build and make them better. So the first those 2 years, 94, 95, when Houston won, Jordan was out. They made it. I think they got eliminated second round, the 95. I don't know for a fact. And then the first round, the subsequent year.
They lost in the Eastern Conference Finals the year they came back against the Magic.
Against the Magic, you are right, because that was the year Shaq and Penny went to the.
Yeah.
You're right. So with that being said, if you were without your star player and you still make the conference finals, I think that has a lot to say about greatness within the team. So to answer your question, would they still be Hall of Famers without him? I think Scottie Pippen would be, because he's still, in my book, one of the best all-around defenders and players of that era.
And that season that when Jordan went out the first season, Scottie was an all-star. He was like average. His ridiculous statistics.
Yeah, he led his team in assists, rebounds, points. He's basically doing what LeBron's doing for the Cavs.
He averaged like 25 points that year.
Yeah.
Scottie was great. So
exactly.
we have to move on. We have to finish up the segment. My answer to the question, my final answer is, what would it take? Exactly what LeBron is doing right now. LeBron is going to go down as the greatest player of all time. I'm calling it.
Oh, of course.
I never wanted to say it. I never was on board with it until this season, and I'm watching it, and I'm just, unless his career drastically drops off in the next 2 years, he will.
His hairline has.
Yeah.
But but no, and just to add that on before we move on to the next one, what would it take for him to eclipse that status? He needs to win more than 6 rings. By the time LeBron is done, and I know that says a lot because he only has, 2 now? But if he wins 7, without a doubt.
Well, easily.
Without a doubt.
I think he can win 4. I think he can win 4, and he'll. I think with what he's doing now, the way he's playing, I think LeBron can go with 4 rings, a couple more MVPs, a couple more seasons like this, and he'll be widely considered to be the greatest.
It's an everlasting debate that continues to go on. Let us know. Yeah, go ahead.
7 rings would be undisputed, but I think at 4 he'll be widely considered. All right, let's move on.
Okay, I guess it comes down to the jewelry or hardware. Now, speaking of performers that did just incredible in the NBA Finals, one of the things I like about every year in the NBA Finals is you have your star players, but you also have players that step up and become unsung heroes. But those people cannot become unsung heroes without their star that obviously leads them. So as we see in the finals year after year, there's usually a star on the team or on another team that steps up and becomes a star, kind of what LeBron is doing this year. So this next portion that we're going to do is our top 5 that we do weekly, and this is the top 5 individual NBA final performances of all time.
Like single game.
Single game.
Okay, yeah.
Single game performances of all time. And we've seen some great stuff in the finals. And this honestly, out of all the top 5s we did, this was probably the most difficult for me to just choose 5.
And the most fun, I thought.
It was fun. Yeah, I really enjoyed this. And I'm not saying that because I picked it, but I just, because there's so many great
You are saying it because you picked it. Last week was the best one. What are you talking about?
5 visionary or best or whatever it was. But anyway, I don't want to start off because it's mine. So mediator, who should we start off with?
Well, how do you guys want to do it? Do you guys want to do 5 each or 1 each? I think
let's not do all 5 at one time. Let's do 1.
One each.
We'll start off with 1.
I'm going to go with Britt Johnson right here.
Okay, so my first one is going to be Elgin Baylor, 1962, Game 5 against the Celtics, Lakers-Celtics. It was the first time the Lakers actually went to the finals.
This is a 61-point game?
61 points.
Jeez.
And 22 rebounds in that game. And the Lakers ended up winning 3-2 on the series for Game 5.
Yeah, which is still, to my knowledge, that is the highest point scored in an NBA Finals game to this day.
Yeah, I think Jordan scored 63 in a playoff.
But that was the playoff,
but
yeah.
it wasn't a finals.
That was a semi-finals round. I believe that was in 89 or 90.
I thought it was the season against the Celtics when he came back. He scored 63 against Bird, I thought.
So that was my number one.
All right. Thank you for keeping it going. Ben.
All right, I'm going to go with number one. It's Bill Belichick. And I'm just kidding.
He's all Kareem.
My number one is going to be Tim Duncan in the 03 Finals, Game 6 versus the Nets. 21, 20, 10, and 8. Just 2 blocks shy of a quadruple double. The big fundamental, one of my all-time favorite players. He also, in Game 1 of that series, had like another ridiculous game where he almost went 5 by 5. It was like 30, 28, and 5 or something like that.
Yeah.
Arguably the best player of his generation, other than LeBron at this point, because Tim is like sort of the generation before. I mean, Kobe would be the other best player.
Yeah, I was about to say that. He's more of the Kobe, Iverson, that generation. Garnett, I would put him in that versus...
That's fair, but I mean, arguably the best player of that generation. Some people will just swear by it that Tim Duncan's the guy, and that's his most impressive finals game. That was also the season that he won MVP. Just 2 blocks shy of a quadruple double is nuts. That's
insane.
Yes.
Mind-blowing. Was that on anybody else's list?
Yeah, that was on my list as well. I actually just crossed it off. That's right. So I don't want to be redundant. So that was also on my list as well. And obviously you can't, when you see a performance like that, you just can't ignore it.
Right.
And that's why even as difficult as it was for me to pick my top 5, when you come 2 blocks short of a quadruple double in the finals, which is the most usually competitive playing field, that just really validates your dominance as a player. And I think, honestly, that's one of the greatest finals performances we've ever seen.
I think 03 to 07 was really where he peaked. Those are like the best Duncan years, where he's physically at his best. And that's definitely the
question
craze.
is, will he win one more before he retires? What do you guys think?
Love that dude.
Love him as well. All right, so we can go on to the next one.
Okay, my second one is going to be Michael Jordan. Now, in this particular game, it was in 97 against the Utah Jazz.
Damn it.
He had the flu.
The flu game's on my list, too.
38 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists.
You know what?
I mean, he had the flu. He was super dehydrated, and he still killed it. Like,
Yeah.
MJ, I love you. I love you.
Yeah, because we all 3 have it, so we can all just sound off on
So
it for a second.
LeBron, until you get the flu and put up 38
You are
points,
never
you are
gonna
not
be
the
the
GOAT.
greatest
exactly.
ever.
I read. I was reading about
And
this.
he didn't actually have
LeBron
the flu.
actually gets a little cramp and starts crying.
Yeah.
So.
That is true. He got carried off. But actually, I will let you finish. But I heard that actually he did not have the flu that game. There's been a lot of controversy surrounding the flu game itself.
Oh, gosh.
And I heard that it was actually food poison. He ordered a pizza at 2 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah, I've heard
His
the same
coaches
thing.
told him it was a bad
Food poisoning's
idea.
even worse than the flu.
Yeah, food poisoning's even harder.
If
Yeah,
he did it
exactly.
through food poisoning, because, I mean,
Yeah.
that's bad.
It's interesting. Go ahead, Ben.
It's one of those like I think the reason we all love sports, right? Sports is like so illustrated by those moments, those like heroic moments where one of your favorite players does something that just it gets seared into your brain. And that memory of Jordan like falling into Pippen's arms at the end of the game when the buzzer sounds, it's so classic. I mean, I've watched that game on ESPN Classics like 6 or 7 times. I was even reading an article that a guy was writing, about his top performers of all time, just so I could sort of see if there's anything I'm forgetting. And he was talking about this game. And he's a writer, and he was saying at the time he had like a lung cancer, and he had to have one of his lungs removed, and that he was recovering, and like this game happened 9 days after his recovery, and he was watching the game and just like weeping, like the will to fight to survive.
That's
and I was like, man, like Jordan is the greatest, and like there's so many people that probably watched that game and connected on so many different levels.
Exactly.
Because he couldn't even stand up at the end of the game.
He couldn't. He was exhausted. You know what I'm gonna do? I had a lot of honorable mentions, so since you guys both picked that, I'm gonna pick another one.
Okay.
This one, it was also, it's funny enough, in the '62 finals as well, against Baylor, and it was Bill Russell. And in the decisive Game 7, which is the most important game ever, Bill Russell put up 30 points, which is nothing to ooh or ah at. But 30 points and 40 rebounds.
30 and 40.
30 and 40.
Crazy.
That is just unheard of. I mean, even 30-30. I think Kevin Love was the last person to do 30-30 about 4 or 5 years ago.
In like a regular season game.
But we're talking Game 7, NBA Finals. I don't know if it gets any higher stakes than that.
Yeah.
And 30 points and 40 rebounds is just astounding. Like, I literally had to look at several different stats to make sure.
confirm that was
to make sure,
correct.
yeah. Because at first I thought it was a typo. So I was
Right.
looking up all these different, sites to make sure he got 30 and 40. And I was like, okay, damn it. I have to include that.
I think that was the 4th win they've won They ended up winning 11 out of 13, I think, or 12 out of 13, but they won 8 in a row, and I think that was the fourth one out of that 8.
Yeah.
That 8 Pete.
Exactly.
Which is totally ridiculous.
Just a stupid game. Just stupid. All right.
Okay, my next one is going to be Allen Iverson.
Iverson,
Son of a gun!
So many good ones.
2001
How do we all pick the
overtime
same
versus
ones?
The Lakers, 48 points.
I'ma
It was
change it,
game
though.
1, so.
Did you pick that one too?
And the
I
Lakers.
picked, that was on my top 5, but I'm gonna change it because I have honorable mentions as well. So I'm gonna just
Yeah, the
throw 'em-
Lakers had just won like 8 games in a row, and he kind of broke that with that game 1.
He won.
So.
They would won 12 in a row. The
yeah.
only game they lost that entire playoffs was
Exactly.
that, and that's the Tyronn Lue game.
Yeah, when he
that's
stepped over him.
That's where he gives the crossover step back over Tyronn Lue, and he steps over him in LA. It's my probably, if not my favorite moment of basketball ever. It's like one of my top 5.
Well, you know what happened with the Tyrone Lue? You know they had Devin George. It was either Devin George or Rick Fox that they had on him that game. And I remember what happened was they went to Phil, and one of the assistant coaches, I don't know if it was Rambis or one of them, said, "Look, they cannot cover Iverson because Iverson had already gone off for so many." And they said you have to put someone on him like Tyronn Lue. And I understand that Iverson, I guess, overheard them talking about this.
Yeah.
So they put here comes Tyronn Lue, who's a pretty good defender, to put on him, and he was supposed to stop Iverson. Like that was his sole reason to be in the game and stop him. So that's why when Iverson finished, he looked back at their bench and stepped over him.
Yeah.
Because of the simple fact that they told him that Lue was going to shut him down.
It's the single defining moment in Iverson's career because he never
Yes.
won anything because
Yes.
he was defined by attitude. That was his whole thing. I mean, he was an amazing pound for pound athlete, maybe the best guy to ever play basketball. At his height, they able to do the things that he could do.
Oh, pound for pound, yeah.
Yeah.
Isaiah Thomas would be the only other person I put up there pound for pound.
Yeah.
Inch for inch, but go ahead.
And that's like the moment because it's all attitude. It's
Yeah.
with him. It was less. I literally with my note, I just wrote 48 points. I didn't even list the other statistics because they don't matter. He was a
Right.
scorer. He was a score first point guard. That's all he did.
Yeah.
Was just score. Anyway.
And I kind of look at him, real quick before we move on, I kind of look at Iverson kind of like LeBron was in Cleveland back in 07, 08.
Yeah.
Because if you look at Iverson, the supporting cast around
Nothing.
him.
It was terrible teams.
Nothing. I mean, Eric Snow, Keith Van Horn, I mean, really, I think he had Mutombo
Yeah.
that time too, who was really good. But other than that, I mean, no help. Go ahead, Brittany.
Okay, next one. Let's see if you guys
Go
have
ahead.
it. Magic
Son of a
Johnson.
gun!
1980?
I'm joking.
1980,
Ah,
20
get out
years
of
old
town.
as a rookie. He's taking over for Kareem. He has 42 points, 15 rebounds, 7 assists, game 6.
Did we really just go like 4 out of 5 of the same ones? All of us?
I didn't pick that one. I didn't have
That
on my
one is
list.
like amazing. And that's as a rookie, and he's like
Yeah.
has such big shoes to fill with Kareem. It was like amazing. But Kareem, I think, had like a sprained ankle or something, wasn't able to play. So, this little rookie comes up, 20 years old, and like dominates. As a rookie to dominate a finals like that.
That's the baby skyhook game, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
baby skyhook game. It's the most famous game of Magic's career. And it's his first year. A point guard playing center. Insanity.
center.
I heard he
Right.
played all 5 positions.
Yeah, he did.
In that actual series, I don't think of that game, but in that series, he had played all 5 positions.
You can basically
That game he started at center. That
yeah,
game.
you can
Okay.
essentially look at there's a couple arguments that like old timers with basketball will make as far as why their guy is greater than Jordan, and the one that people will always use for Magic every single time is that game.
Yeah.
Is that he played all 5 positions.
Yeah.
He's the only point guard to ever play center, and that's
Yeah.
always the argument is he could do everything.
But then you can also argue that at that particular time in the league, you didn't have the development in all positions the way that you do have the development in all positions now.
Yeah.
But I still would say, hands down, one of the greatest. Ben, you had that as well, right?
I had that one as well. I'm gonna jump in with one of my own then
Yeah,
because
go ahead.
and it's actually. I know I'm cheating a little bit here, but I couldn't really decide which of the games we've seen so far as we go in to finish the series that LeBron has had this year. And it's
That's
his.
good.
I'm just gonna say his series thus far. He's setting records every game, near triple doubling every single game.
Mm-hmm.
Watching him play basketball right now is sort of one of those moments where I'm like, almost the whole time I'm like, I must be taking this for granted a little bit because.
Mm-hmm.
How is this guy putting up 40, 14, and 13, and he's playing with Mozgov and Shumpert, J.R. Smith, and Dellavedova against the de facto MVP, the guy that we sat here all season being like, Steph Curry's the best player, he's going to win MVP, Klay Thompson's locked down, Draymond Green's so good, they've got a great coach, the best system, they're going to get swept, and it's just not...
say
I mean,
Westbrook.
he's the only one that said that. You were the only one that said that.
I mean,
about
I'm not the only person that felt that way.
No.
On
I
this,
do hear
on
you.
this stage.
Obviously, Curry pretty much was unequivocal.
I mean, I'm granted
Be mad.
since he took that fall in the last series, he hasn't quite been the same. He's still been good, but
He has not been very good.
Yeah,
He smells really bad right now in this series. He's been playing really bad. Like, this isn't. I mean, I would say if like LeBron's playing really good, but Steph Curry is not playing very good. So you're not really playing against somebody who's playing their best either.
I mean, you're playing against the best team in the NBA, the 67-win team. The fact that LeBron's doing what he's doing is insane. I am just saying, like, watching the games, and you can see that like the competitive spirit that we always saw out of Jordan.
Yeah.
Each game, at the end of the game, LeBron, you can just see it complete and total exhaustion.
Yeah.
Just the emotion in his face at the end of the game. It's kind of making me a fan, to be honest.
I totally agree. I think right now, this is 15, 20 years from now, when we're talking to our kids, and we're going to be like, when LeBron was having that ridiculous, 2015 postseason, we were there. We were talking about it. We weren't there physically, but we were talking about it, and we just remember watching. I think it's really going to be one of those things.
Yeah.
So the person I'm going to put, because I did put. I did not put the Magic one. That was what you started off with, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm going to go to the same team, though. Game 7, 88 finals against the Detroit Pistons. And I love Game 7. I love Game 7.
Is this the third quarter Isaiah game?
This is not.
Oh.
This is, this is, even though Isaiah did go off for 25 points that quarter on a sprained ankle, which was even more insane. But no, this is actually another Laker. Not Magic. Not Kareem. Worthy.
Yeah, I knew it.
James Worthy, Game 7 against the Pistons, who were one of the best defensive teams in that era. Went off for a triple-double. 36 points, 16 rebounds, 10 assists in that decisive Game 7 that ultimately won them the championship. So that to me is superb. All right, keep it moving.
All right, so
How many do we have left?
Final pick, this is number 5.
Oh, this is we're already on 5. Wow. Go ahead.
My final pick is going to be, again, Michael Jordan. I'm going to do 1993.
Game 4 against the Suns?
Yes.
The one where he outscores Barkley?
55 points. Yeah. Now, Charles Barkley was the MVP that season for regular season. And I know you were talking about, every game, whatever, LeBron's been having 40 points. Well, that season, or that series, Jordan actually had a 44-point game, a 46-point game,
40s,
a 55-point game. He averaged 41 points in that series. Mm-hmm. So that series alone was probably one of the most amazing series ever. But, like, that game 4 with 55 points against Charles Barkley, the MVP, is amazing.
Absolutely. I agree.
That's fair. It's fair.
I had that down as an honorable mention. Go ahead.
There's a great story that Barkley sometimes tells, and I've heard him tell this on an interview, where he went into that game where Jordan scored 55, and I think Barkley had 46 or something like that. Or did you say Barkley scored 55 or Jordan scored 55?
No, Jordan had 55.
And Barkley had 46 or something like that.
He had, I think, 38 or 39, but it was a lot.
Yeah, and it was a huge game.
Yeah.
And he talks about the story that he went into the game knowing it's I have to put it on my shoulders. I'm the MVP. I have to win this for my team. And he came home to his daughter after losing the game, and she looked at him and she was like, Daddy, what happened? How did you lose? Because he had said to her, I'm going to win this game for my team. And he just looks at her and he goes, he's just better than me. I can't.
That is hilarious.
I think I'm probably taking the quote a little bit out of context, but I've heard him tell the story 2 or 3 different times, and he just essentially is just I can't be better than that. I played the best I could possibly play.
Wow.
And that's what I'm talking about.
Just
winning and being the
like
best, playing the best at their best. Charles Barkley's at his best. Jordan's at his best, and Jordan is better. Yeah. And Jordan's better than LeBron.
I love that story too.
Yeah, Jordan's amazing. I would say there's a couple others that I had sort of written down as honorable mentions because my 5 were all we all just stepped on each other's toes here and completely made it 10.
My final 5. My final one. None of you guys have, but go ahead.
The one I'm going to throw in. There's a couple. I mean, there's Walt Frazier in 1970, which is super famous. That's one of the great games of all time because it's the Willis Reed game. But the one that I'm going to go with it's LeBron against the Pistons. And I think it's
that wasn't in the finals.
No,
that was in the Eastern Conference Finals.
So call it an honorable mention then. It's the one where he scored 28 of the final 30 points.
He had
and
48 or 49 for that.
He scored 25 straight in the fourth quarter. Yeah. The final 7.5 minutes of the game.
2007. Yeah,
he scored every single point.
Yeah,
Which
I agree.
like legendary.
Honestly, it's funny. I was thinking about that because if I was going to do top 5 just playoff or postseason performances, that would have easily been the top 3 right there. I mean, that was just insane.
Right.
But because I said NBA Finals performances,
you're cheating.
I omitted that one.
Yeah.
So thank you.
You could go ahead and do when Jordan made 6 threes in the first quarter of a game.
Against the Trailblazers.
Yeah.
They shrugged his shoulders.
First half, the shoulder shrug game.
All right. Well, because we have to
exactly.
because we have to move on. My final pick, and as you guys always know, I always throw in a controversial one. You know, just for the fun of it.
Stoyap.
Okay. Stoyap. The Kings never made the finals, so that would work. But honorable mention: Dwayne Wade, Game 3. I didn't mention that when they were down 0-2 and he came back to win them, or Game 3 in 06. Excuse me. But the one that I'm going to go with is Game 3, 2015 finals. Cavaliers versus the Warriors, and I'm gonna go with Matthew Dellavedova. And the reason I'm gonna include him in my top 5 best NBA Finals performances of all time is, one, he took out the best. We were just talking about the highly praised, the best shooter. God, he can do anything, dribble, shoot from everywhere. He took out an MVP. And granted, Curry did go off in the second half.
Game 3 or 2?
It was Game 3.
Game 3.
I think he played better in Game 2 because Steph Curry did not get one
You're right.
shot off of him.
Defensively,
Game
offensively, he played better in Game 3. Defensively, he played better in Game
Right.
2. But the reason I'm still putting him in there for Game 3 and talking about that is because he had Curry absolutely mentally shook the first half. Curry only took I think 5 or 6 shots the first half, had only 3 points in the first half of that game with Dellavedova on him. And I think it was just a simple fact that Dellavedova single-handedly has taken Curry out of his game. The way he's defending him. Curry is even looking a little reluctant to take shots off the row. I even heard Kerr, one of them, saying that he's not looking for a shot the way he normally was. Now, granted, the second half of the game, Curry did get in a little bit of a rhythm, but I'm just saying.
Insane threes.
He did hit some insane ones. But at the end of the day, I'm throwing Dellavedova in there because not only is he shutting down the MVP of the other team that can win the series for you, but you're also contributing 20 points and you went up 2-1 at a very good team. I think if the Cavaliers win this series, LeBron, of course, but it's going to be because of Matthew Dellavedova.
Maybe so. I'm going to suggest that we move on because we're going to run out of time to our next 7. And have we all said all our 5?
Yes,
Yes, we did.
So, real quick, I'll just throw this in there. We did a branded baller of the week last week. So I decided, this week, why don't we do a non-branded baller of the week? Someone that is not balling. And even though this person is not physically balling anymore on the court, this is in regards to, used to be a point guard actually for Golden State Warriors and Clippers.
And the Clippers.
Yeah, Baron Davis. And I believe we have a picture of Baron Davis. Apparently, Baron Davis either A, was trying to go back to the 70s, B, was watching Coming to America Soul Glow ads.
Just let your soul glow.
Exactly. Or C, just lost his mind. If you have not seen Baron Davis went on what's the first take? No. He went on, what was it? I think it was First Take on ESPN, and he's donning a Jerry curl, and everyone just ripped him up about it. Jamil Hill, everybody ripped him up. So I love you, Baron, but that hairstyle is not balling. I mean, Brittany, you're a girl. What do you think of his Jerry curl?
I mean, it's horrible. I would not, and it's you can't even run your fingers through his hair because it's just oil and grease all day long, and it's not a good look for you.
Not a good look.
Well, on a positive note, Baron Davis is part of the Drew League documentary that's coming out right now, with all about all those guys that have played ball in Los Angeles, Kobe and John Harden and Nick Young and everybody, which should be pretty cool. So
good deal.
That's better than
we'll
the Jerry curl.
But you know what? Probably that hairstyle brought attention to Baron Davis, and now they're going to go check out the film.
Yeah,
that is true.
So it's all about
they say
marketing.
No publicity is bad publicity, right?
There's no such thing as bad publicity.
Who's been talking about Baron Davis at all? Nobody.
No, that is true.
Nobody.
I know you're still alive.
Yeah.
Come on
I'm
now.
joking.
Come on.
All right, love BD. All right, so real quick, we're just going to go through a couple of things on the hot spot. This is just a minute each where I'm going to ask a question and somebody is going to answer. It doesn't matter which one of you guys it is. First question, is Russell Wilson deserving of a max contract?
Absolutely, 100%. There's not even a question in my mind that Russell Wilson is deserving of a max contract. It's a ridiculous question, and all of the scrutiny that Russell Wilson is just the game manager is absurd and just propaganda from Niners fans. Case in point, next question.
Wow, Ben shut it down. Next, number 2 question. Any one of you guys can jump in. Will Ray Rice have a team to play on come the 2015 season?
No.
Why?
That's
Wow.
Drop the pen.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
No explanation needed.
You know why I'm here.
All right. Yes, for eye candy. All right. So the next one. Who is the number one free agent the Lakers should acquire this offseason if they want to be
This is
contenders?
your team, Ben. Why don't you take this one?
The Lakers should gun as hard as they can for LaMarcus Aldridge. If they can get him. They won't be able to get him. He's going to go to the Spurs. But if the Lakers could possibly get Aldridge to go with Julius Randle, you move Julius Randle to the 3 and you play Aldridge at the 4, that I think would be the best possible player. Well, depending on who they get, they can draft around it. I actually think there's a chance that the Lakers are going to draft the point guard kid, whose name is D'Angelo Russell. D'Angelo Russell?
I know. Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
Good, justification there. Then, next one. Obviously, with the NBA Finals, there's always fashion. This year, I haven't seen much fashion in the finals. Brittany, Ben, what's going on? Where's the fashion at this year?
I don't know. I think you should take that one since you're the fashion expert on the show.
See, the problem is with the fashion is they're not realizing their brands, all right? And as an NBA athlete, when you're on a platform as big as the NBA Finals, that's when you need to emphasize your brand, whether it's clothing, whatever it is. And I've just not seen enough brands with these athletes. I'm just not.
D-Wade looks pretty flat, calling from the announcer's booth up there. He's normally like pretty well dressed.
That's because Gabrielle Union is dressing him.
It's all about Riley Curry. That's all it's about.
That is true.
She's bigger star.
She's
the biggest
everybody.
star. She's like totally selling Baby Gap all day long. I'm loving it.
She is. She's gonna get an endorsement deal.
She's the cutest kid like ever. I mean, this is amazing.
Yeah, who cares about what these players are wearing? We're worried about Riley.
Of course, it's all about Riley. All right, last question on Hotspot. Is it time for the Cowboys to relinquish the title of the America's team?
Absolutely not. We are like Cowboys. We had our little stint in the 70s. We had our thing in the early 90s. And guess what, baby? We're back. 2015. Last year, 2014 season, we had a great season. And I just see it an uphill for another 5-6 years or so. So I'm excited. And whatchamacallit, Patriots are not America's team. I don't know why people say that just because they had a couple whatever, but it's the Cowboys.
Real quick, Ben, who would you say currently right now, if you could name America's team, any other team in the NFL, who would it be?
Seattle Seahawks.
They're not America's team. They're Seattle's team, and like only that
They're
little.
the 12th man.
Yeah, in that little town. Nobody else in the world cares about the Seahawks.
That little town. Yeah.
Nobody else in the world cares about that team except for.
I think that the whole world relates to that team and loves that team. I think that team is like they have so much personality. I think people really root for that team. People love Marshawn. People love Russell. People are fascinated by the ridiculousness that is Richard Sherman. They just have a lot of
that comes out of his mouth.
People are just drawn to that team. They're not really America's team. I'm just making that up.
Yeah.
I actually think there is. Even though I don't think that like the whole like America's team because of national news coverage and all that used to go along with the Cowboys, which is why they is relevant anymore. But
we still get the most primetime games out of any team.
No, great. I was going to say, even though I don't think that they like
Jerry Jones pays for all that.
Deserve it for the same reasons.
We still get it.
I think that tradition is so apparent in the NFL, and tradition is very important to remember. There isn't another team that really like it would make any sense to give that title to. The Cowboys truly are America's team, and they should stay that way. It's part of their brand. I think it's important for that.
Well, I think they need to win some more titles if they definitely want to keep that brand and be America's team.
Hey, I mean, we have 5. There's only very few teams that have 6.
49ers have 5 as well. And
there's only one team that has,
has
6. Only one team, so.
Yeah, very good. Well, we shall see. Coming from an optimistic Cowboys fan right there. Now, guys,
Cowboys.
Who do you guys think America's team should be? Right now would be a great time to go on podcastwhat.com and let us know that. Or go on our videos on iTunes, comment, let us know who you think America's team will be. Just hashtag branded athlete America's team.
Make sure you always give us 5 stars, please.
Yes, very true.
1 for the Cowboys, 1 for freaking Kevin, me, Ben, and 1 for Steven.
Absolutely. Steven.
5 stars.
Yes, absolutely. This show cannot be done without our 5-star producer, Steven, in the booth doing his thing. All right, guys. Well, that wraps up another show, and you guys are lucky because I was going to rapid fire you, both of you, and you had no idea, but we ran out of time for that.
Darn.
Well, I'll get you guys soon before this year is over with. At any rate, thank you guys once again so much for watching. I'm Kevin John. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at HeyKevinJohn, or on my website, it's kevinjohn.com. Brittany.
Brittani Johnson is my website, or you can go to my Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat, and Facebook, all at I am Britt Johnson. Gotta brand yourself.
Gotta brand yourself. You can find my brand at Ben Bateman Media on Instagram, Twitter, and very occasionally Periscope.
Periscope, we still haven't got onto that, but if you guys follow him on Periscope, let us know.
We did Periscope last week.
We did.
It
was sold.
Yeah.
It was sold.
I thought that was for your own personal usage. All right. Anyways, guys, that's the show. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you guys next Friday, same time, same place. Thank you so much.
from producers Maria Menounos, Dario Kristen, Tiana Hobson, Kevin Undergaro, and the entire BHL crew, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us at info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I'm your BHL announcer, Scipio. Instagram me at Planet Scipio. Thank you for tuning in.
The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.